Hello.
Hello, sir, can you hear us? Are we audible?
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. You're audible.
Okay. May I now start?
Sir, just we will
Rupa
have
madam
a
will be
brief
starting.
inauguration and after
Yes, sir.
that we will start.
Okay. Okay.
Sandhya, shall we start now?
Yes,
Hello,
madam.
Sandhya.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay,
Please start.
okay.
Please start.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, we are into the second program of the MHRD IIC Narula Institute of Technology, second webinar. We already had the first webinar. And this webinar is based on managing intellectual property during COVID-19, which will be presented by Professor Dr. Shomit Chandra Das. But before that, we will have a very brief inauguration. I would like to request our Honorable Registrar Madam, Mrs. Nidhi Singh, to kindly highlight upon this program and say a few words. Madam, please.
A very good afternoon to all concerned present in today's webinar on managing intellectual property during COVID-19. I extend heartiest and warm welcome to Professor Samir Chandra Das, Sir, System Manager in charge, BCW Cell, University of Calcutta. Thank you, sir, for joining in today's webinar. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Also due to the organizers for arranging this relevant topic of the day for the today's webinar and also for giving me the chance to speak on the topic. So thank you, organizers. We all know that coronavirus is affecting each and every aspect of our daily life. Apart from the health risk, it has been disrupting our social and economic lifestyles as well. In India, central and state governments are doing every bit to fight the adversities of this pandemic. However, in this situation, there is one thing which stays more powerful, and that is intellectual property. And it is imperative for us to realize it by now. We all know that intellectual property protection is the key to fostering innovation. Without protection of ideas, business and research would not get the return on the investment. And ultimately, they will get demotivated, which we cannot afford during this pandemic situation. And one of the main role of IP is to provide an incentive framework in which innovation can be encouraged from the idea generation till the commercial product or service is built. To give more insight on this topic, we have the expert for the day. Please highlight the session in details. So thank you, organizers. Thank you, sir, for joining me. Over to you, Rupama.
Okay, thank you, madam, very much for your so kind words. Now, I would like to request our Dean R&D Sir, Professor Dr. Sukumar Chandra Kona, to just kindly say a few words. Sir, please.
Okay.
Sir? Yes,
okay.
sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. Respected Principal Madam, Register Madam, coordinators, Honorable Speaker Dr. Das, my colleagues, dear my students and others, welcome to all of you. Coronavirus is affecting each and every aspect of our daily lives. Apart from the health risk, it has been disrupting our social and economic lifestyle or a part of it. There is one thing which stays more powerful, and that's the intellectual property, which is the key to fostering innovation. Coronavirus is destroying economic all over the world since there is no such idea of how long the situation persists. The companies are racing towards adapting or developing situations in an industry aligned with the current situation. Industries are directly contributing towards the economy in the middle of a lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. For example, industries like medical, entertainment, online gaming, video conferencing, social media, etc., gives the solution in this situation. For example, Mahindra has recently been accused of stealing a low-cost ventilator technology by a PGI doctor. That again validates the fact that IP protection is important. The Open COVID Please is an initiative which includes a group of techies. Such companies like IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Hewlett Packard and Sandia National Laboratories have pledged free use of their intellectual property to fight COVID-19 during the pandemic. With these few words, I thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, so much for your informative words. Now, I would like to request Professor Das to start his session, but before that, I would like to read out his profile. Professor Dr. Shomit Chandra Das is a PhD in Engineering and Technology in Nanoscience and Nanotechnology from Jadavpur University, with about 23 years of research experience and also in teaching and industry. He has received his BSc in Computer Science from University of Calcutta, BE Electrical Engineering and MTech Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering from Jadavpur University. He received the MBA on Human Resource Management and M Library Science and Information Science, an MPhil in Computer Science from Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, and also LLB from Utkal University, India. He has received LLM, Labor and Industrial Relations and Administrative Law from Annamalai University. He has published more than 125 papers in reputed, referred international and national academic journals. He has authored 17 books in engineering, management, and law, and also undertaken various research programs. He is a life member of different professional and technocrat bodies and is a frequent contributor to a number of journals over the years. His research contributions have drawn greater response to issues including employment, industrial outputs, and human resource that have been widely acknowledged. Presently, he is a system manager of UGC professor rank since 26th August 2011, Center for Research in Nanoscience and Nanotechnology, CRNN, University of Calcutta, and Nodal Officer and Chairman, Biomedical Instrumentation in MSc course of Joint Academic Program with University of Calcutta and the West Bengal University of Health Sciences. He is also a visiting professor in the Department of Master of Business Management, Instrumentation and Electronics Engineering, University of Calcutta and University of Kalyani. So with this, sir, we would like to request you to start your session on the very awaited webinar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, you can share the screen, sir. Yes, sir.
Share screen. Okay.
Yes,
Share
sir.
screen.
It's enabled. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. This one enable. You enter screen. Chandra, yes, here is not a share option is come.
Sir, share
Hello?
option is given, sir.
Yeah, given her in blue, but
Yes,
this not execute.
let me say. Let me take one.
Can you share this PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. I will try. I'll start sharing.
this one is.
Sir, is it coming, sir, now? The sharing option?
Sharing option. Yes, come. But
Okay, sir. Then let me start, sir. Let me start the sharing.
okay, you shared from your
Yes,
side.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm starting, sir.
Okay. Just revised one. Just on.
Yes, sir. The revised one. Yes, sir. So please give me just 1 minute. I'm just starting sharing this.
Yes, now it has come.
Yeah, let me see. It should the PPT should start. So can everyone see the PPT?
The second, hello.
Yes, sir.
PPT.
So is the PPT visible?
This one, PPT revised.
Yes, sir. Is it visible, sir?
So
No, it has not opened yet. Sandhya.
PPT, first one,
Yes, sir.
first one, PPT, not PDF.
Yeah, yes, sir. But
PPT.
okay, sir. Let me do one thing. It's opening. It's
PPT has second one. This one. First one, Chanda, first one for PPT, not
yes, sir. The first
PPT.
one.
Second,
Yes, sir, this one. But it's not opening, sir. Just let me give me a
not open.
There's some issue. Okay, sir. Let me.
First, you download from its.
Yeah, it's downloaded, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. Let me do one thing. So now, is it clear, sir? Now it's coming?
Yes. Now it has come.
This full screen share.
Make it full screen, Sandhya.
Yeah, it's full screen. Done.
Yes. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening to all participant dignitaries, and I'm not lost my time before the my topic is a very large topic, and this more than 50 slides in my talk. So this my today webinar talk is managing intellectual property during the COVID session 19. This one, Anda, can you skip this slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the intellectual property, basically the digital medium copyright. So what is the intellectual property? This is not basically the not intangible property. This is the range of topic is the cost of peer-to-peer and the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, Digital Right Management Act, and peer-to-peer internet technology, largely used in the unlawful file sharing also, widespread sharing of files, music, etc., going problem to the broadband uptake increasing. Next slide. And the next. This is the intellectual property creation of the mind, which is the execution level, the right to the recognized and also corresponding field of law. So under IP law, intellectual property law, intangible asset such as the musical, literature, artistic works, discoveries, and the innovation, the words, phrases, symbols. That's in intellectual property right, the copyright, trademarks, patent, and industrial design rights also, and trade sectors also, depending upon the instruction jurisdictions. And the next. The physical property and intellectual property. What is the difference in between? Physical property represents deed, mortgage, physical bricks, like. But intellectual property is the licensing of files traded, not abstract works, etc. It is the not visible, but it is the pyramidal executive enforcement, the engagement, education, and enforcement. So intellectual property is the property but not tangible. Okay, not related to physical property, but it is the value more than the physical property. And the next, yes. So copyright also the creative works, for example, poems, theses, plays, and other literature works, movies, choreography works, dance, ballet, the musical composition, audio recording, etc. And digital media also e-books, MP3 music, digital photos, and musical scores also in the copyright and patenting systems. So the next. Next, the innovation. Before going to the intellectual property, we have wanting the innovation process and invention. The innovation is the newness of the degree, and newness and degree of innovation, and what is the focus on the new of the firm, first in the market, first in the world, incremental or radical innovations, something new and newness. Next, and the next, hello, the from innovation to innovation, invention to innovation, the while the invention depends the creativity, successful technological innovation requires the integrating new knowledge with the multiple business functions. And the next,
Yes, sir. Done.
it is very difficult. Why not open? Oh, okay. That is the part of the some are new to the market. Is the newness to market is the horizontal and vertical diagram. So the high to low and low to high. Here is the so some are a minor modification. This is the new product lines, the completely new, and this one the new product revision and line extension, the change to augmented product and the repositioning. This one the and this is the completely new. So we are defined here for the newness and new is the innovation to invention. That's the property of IP. So, and the next, this is the invention, innovation, imitation. The adoption of an innovation by similar firm usually lead to product or process standardization. The product based on intimation often are the offered by lower price, but with fewer features and better features also earlier one. Next. This is the intellectual property right and information technology. You have to write for information technology and similarly also write intellectual property right, the management process, and intellectual property have to write to some filing, some patenting. So in governance system, in our governance part, the maximize return, increasing agility. This is the in a pyramidal structure which defined in a 4 coordinate. First coordinate, second coordinate, the third coordinate the mitigate risks, and fourth coordinate is the improve the performance. In first coordinate, improve business result, improve growth, revenue, and the earnings, cash flow, reduce the cost of the operation. Similarly, in the increasing agility, the enable the business organization and operation to adapt to the changing business needs. This is the pyramidal structure, the prism structure. Here, 4 quadrant, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant. This one, the fourth quadrant, to improve the performance, improve business operation performance, end-to-end business across the enterprise, increase the customer and the employee satisfactions also. And in third quadrant, if I ensure security and continuity. The intellectual property mainly depends on our intellectual thinking, intellectual vision. Next on the this one, the our moral dimension of an internet society. This is the information rights. First quadrant is the information right. Second quadrant is the property rights. So suppose you thinking something and some you involved in the new, partly new, in the earlier one, suppose one spoon made by you, which one the different from earlier. So you may write to something drafting or filing for patent. So you, this is the property of also you. This is the your intangible property, and you may sell after the marketable uh, goods. But before marketable goods, you may rights to property rights in your filing to patent. This is the public safety, welfare, and fourth, what is the governance. So, in our political issue, this is the your circle structure. This is the social issue, ethical issue. In the kernel of this shell is the internet and e-commerce. E-commerce now in the COVID pandemic situation, e-commerce and internet is the very vital. And using the e-commerce, our banking sector and our IT sector also now is a established. But we are individually and we are not working in a home work from home by e-commerce and e-systems also and IT systems also, so society and polity. So this one is our systems in the for pyramidal structure to the coordinate system in the global position for the information to the governance. Next on the these are the governance and models. This is the very different models, but we here conclude in the 5 characterization model. There are many models, but we have the process. In every model has process, technology, peoples, and values. Benefit of assurance is the value. Hello. Start to share করতে চেঞ্জ করতে পারবো কোথা থেকে ও ইন্টারমিডিয়েট আচ্ছা ওকে 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 so this one on depending the process that must be implemented, supported by the technology, define business change issue to be the address, define organizational and regime and the achieved. That includes some way to measuring the value to be achieved. So in our process to value technology, there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. From a pyramidal structure, upper to lower, lower to upper, the bidirectional system. Both are the bidirectional system. See that. So, but I'm not. Hello, Shanda. Please change. Okay. Okay. This is the systems for the digital rights management. The rights metadata. Rights metadata is a very important. Rights metadata is the metadata. It is the concatenary data who has informed regarding to other data. So from rights metadata to the rights expression, the technology platform and digital rights management. In our intellectual property, digital rights management is the very essential and fundamental process for your intangible property, your intellectual property may write in a digital format. This one is the see that is the use and application and expression. This is the enforcement of the rights, permission, rendering the environment, etc. Machine capable interpersonal rights for the sharing of your knowledge in the digital rights format. This one, but okay, this one the development technology for the knowledge generation to diffusion. This one the basic knowledge, invention, innovation, diffusion. The supply chain, supply side is the supply side, the intimation. This is the demand side of the adoption. Imitations and supply side, then is the adoption side is the demand side. So in the next, this is the framework for e-commerce and intellectual property rights in the depending on the e-commerce, the electronic commerce application. Some this one the shopping, online banking, auction, trading, customers services, buying and selling stocks, job search also, people, policy, marketing, advertising, supply chains. So people is the buyer, seller, staffs and management. The public policy, the taxes, legal, privacy issues, the regulations, marketing, also market research, promotions. So minimum infrastructure requirement for this hour for e-commerce and implement our intellectual property right. This is the EDI, email, HTML, Java, VAN, WAN, LAN, Internet, extranet, electronic payments, electronic catalogs, etc. Wireless network, www website also. This next, but the fundamental structure, fundamental. This is the importance of the protecting and enforcing intellectual property rights. The different types of rights you may gather, and you may ultimately form a company or as a brand value. This is the maintaining the importance for the various reasons. The maintaining the competitive edge, the enhanced brand loyalty, protect goodwill over brand. Suppose the mobile, different type of mobile phone in market, but Apple phone brand and the Samsung phone, the different brand, but they have the different and policy. They have the different software. They different. This is the intellectual property of different company, but their brand value is the different. Suppose maintain or enhance their value of IP, intellectual property. Next, this is the infringement of copyright. Is the very important for infringement of copyright. Primary infringement and secondary infringement. The restricted activity, the causal connection, the substantial copy. The in secondary infringement, this is the facilitated infringement and dealing infringement. Next, this just see that retail CD and from the online CD. This is the created to consumer, the go to the creator, producer, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, and consumer. But in the online system, the licensing pen in music, IPR licensing in online system created to consumer indirectly. In the online system, distributor and retailer portion is eliminated. See that musical IP licensing, because it is the reduce the time from created to consumer and no great way, and it is the fast ongoing process in online system for IPR, intellectual property. For what is the how can share and what is the digital rights management. Digital rights management is the very important here. How many copy you sell, how many copy you create, this is the very important. This is the intellectual property in education as they are product life cycle. This one, our starting our education life starting from early to boyhood to this is the younger session. This is the and our IP policy in IPR, our maturity, our maybe decline. Our brain work also decline. Next. This one, the technology adoption, diffusion of innovation. This is the time, take up the rate, the entry process, the innovator, the venturesome, greatest need. This one, the inventors, early adopters. This is the early majority and the late majority. And if you late majority, then you get the legates. But if you the early majority, early adopter, then you the early majority, the inventors, the early adopters, the opinion leaders, and needs driven. The early majority, this one our proposed model for next one, legend traditional software. This one our proposed model for the managed IP, the online division our purpose in university, federal grants, private R&D, basic research, inventions, the publication, PhDs, tenures, and patents. But in the universities regulations, but is differ from the organization. So this is the patenting is very essential for the organization, and for but in publication is very essential for the university. So our process and our model for IP intellectual property managed. This is the our ROI complexing massive. This is the job in a cyclic order. This is the generate the equity, royalties, and the license fee. Next generation product, the spin out companies. This is a transfer technology. This is on the bi-directional system and cyclic order. It may rotate and it may available in the from the web and when you want, but it is the consumable. It is the your IP, your intellectual property should be the as a commodity. It should be as a tangible property, but it may be sell out by the prototype product, by product of development research, make the technology investment guide. Okay, next. Okay, the basic ethics for the IP management. The ethics is study of principle used to the determine rights and wrong, courses of actions, responsibility, accountability, liability, and laws permitting the individuals to recover damages due processes law as known, the understood ability to appeal to higher authorities to ensure the laws applied the correctly. Next. This one is the innovation, intellectual property management, and poverty reduction. For poverty reduction, it is very important for intellectual property management. And invention and innovation is the vice versa system. Without innovation, no invention is successful. See that. Innovation and entrepreneurship, then productivity. That competitivity, then competitiveness, then rising our standard of living. When our standard of living rising, then it should be the poverty eliminate. So critical ingredients for this innovation is the intellectual capital, human capital, financial capital, proximity, and social network capital. In this baseline, the financial capital is the basic fundamental, but our intellectual capital is the more important, is the shown in the first one. Intellectual property is the first, then human capital, then financial capital, then proximity, then social network. So next, this is the pyramidal structure, the protection of IP. Intellectual, you have the intellectual property, it may require for protect. So impact of society, value adding in a pyramidal structure, upper of the pyramid is the idea, then research, then technology, then products. Then next, this is the confidential. Before, please earlier slide. Before, please come earlier slide. This is the enforcement steps, identifying the instance of the infringing, the activities, evaluating leads, the gathering evidence, taking action against the offenders. This one, okay, this one I lost. This one, this research is the collaborative research. This the technology is the utility models patents, and this the product is the finally technology licensing agreement and branding. I speak in the earlier. This is the brand in the Apple brand. There's the Samsung brand is the different, but the brand value is the very important in intellectual property, and managing their intellectual property. They are using their patenting file and drafting of patent. They reserve their intellectual property and in their own custody. This one the product value. Suppose if you thinking and you invent something, our Jagadish Chandra Bose from Presidency University College, then Presidency audio, the web, radio wave, but he not demand that time for the invention, for the newly invented the radio wave, but from German, Marconi has demand for patenting, demand for the innovation. So that time, originally our inventor is the Jagadish Chandra Bose for radio wave, but now is the famous the radio wave inventor is the Marconi. So it is the different. What is the invention? After the immediate innovation to invention may come to the intellectual property in drafting form. It is the patenting form. This is the very important. The broadcasting and for announcing your intellectual property, what you thinking, what you doing, and what you preserving for your future. This is a very important. Next, this is the enforcement step. Next, this on the trade description is very important. Suppose Apple phone, someone is copy and say another company has made, there's another name, but it is not in true and not in fair. This is the called trade discrimination. This is the very illegal process. Natural designation, this is the indication whether given the directly or indirectly. By whether means given by an the following matters in the respect of any goods. The nature of designation, approval by any person by whom the goods is manufactured, produced. Next. Okay, this is the example. Suppose this is the Nokia original phone, and someone the launch phone is called Nokia, just like same picture, same visible, same function, but they have is the duplicate. This is the piracy. The any description is the which the falls to the material of degree is the illegal and is the punishable offense. Okay, next. This is the intellectual property question, increasing to know which type of the intellectual property rights are applicable and when is type of IPR is appropriate. So, in our device modeling, the IPR in the internet network and e-commerce system, it is be assuming, it is be thinking. Next, this one. And regulations, this is the data protection and cyber security. For intellectual property, is the data protection and cyber security is very important. Cyber crime and cyber security in internet system, in our digital electronics and digital computer system, it is very important for cyber security. The good security practices are the needed to the protect the information. You will be the accountable. So security measure apply both the personal data and other critical data also. Next. Next. Okay. The web evolution. The website has shown this one in 1993. Web invented and implemented is the only 130 numbers websites, but in 2019 June data, the 10 billion number is approximate. Now it's coming at least 1 billion is higher in 2020 in July. That is the our increasing rate from website www, google.com, yahoo.com, and that set up of website when web. Next. This is the internet infrastructure for our India. India internet infrastructure is the scenery, the global system to internet in our homeland. This is the LAN, MAN, WAN, and our system, router system, our device system, our PC computer and laptop system and mobile system also. Next. This is the creating and selling. This is the broken software is a cyber crime. Cyber security and cyber crime is different side of a same coin. The two sides of the same coin. A major part of cyber security is to fix broken software. A major attack vector or cyber crime is to exploit the broken software. The common factor is the broken and software. Earlier was the broken software. This one was the broken software. See that major part is the cyber security is to fix the broken software. So the next is this one. If cyber crime increase, then cyber security decrease. If cyber security is less, then cyber crime is higher. This is the vice versa system. Decrease in broken software, increase the good software. So if your cyber security is higher, then cyber crime is reduced. Next. 3 categories of cyber crime. I show here. This is the cyber piracy, the cyber trespass. This is the cyber vandalism. This is the cyber crime. This is the distributed proprietary information in digital form across a computer network, and this one is the using cyber technology to gain or exceed the unauthorized access to. And third one, cyber vandalism, using cyber technology to is the unleashed to one or more program that disrupt the transmission and electronic information across one or more systems, computer network, including the internet. That destroy the data resident of the computer, damage a computer systems, the resources, or both. Next, this one, the cyber crime and cyber related crime. The cyber crime and cyber related crime. This is the cyber crime is 10th floor. This is the cyber specific, cyber trespass, cyber vandalism, and cyber related crime is the cyber exploited, cyber assisted, cyber tracking, internet for this the internet pornography. That's all of the cyber related crime, and this is the cyber crime indirect, and this is the indirect, and income tax cheating. This is the physical assault with the computer property damage using the computer hardware. It's all the cyber related crime also. The next, the what is the cyber crime and for violate the intellectual property? Consider 3 actual cases for distributing the this is the MP3 files of the internet via to peer-to-peer technology, and unleash of the I love you virus, computer, etc. Any virus, the launching the Daniel of services attack on the commercial websites. This is the violation of intellectual property to for sell their antivirus. They have launched the virus in your computer by using mail, fraud mail, is the spam mail, is the Trojan virus, is the malware, is the malicious software. That is the part of the violence of intellectual property and is the mainly part of cybercrime. Next. Next. Hello. Next, on the next. Cybersecurity.
So
Please,
this
the earlier one. Okay. Okay. Please go earlier.
yes, sir.
All right. No. Back on the back.
This one.
Yes. This one's cybersecurity and manage IP. This just back on the back. This one. Spoofing. The problem is how can I reassure the customer who come to my site that they are doing business with me, not with the fake setup, and still they are the credit card numbers. Suppose a banking system, the State Bank of India, everyone has used the credit card or debit card. Now, who is ensured this site is highly cyber secured and highly secured, and not crime is happened from this our site. This one is this on our site. Then next on the next. This one, how can I be certain that the personal information is not altered by online ever trust? This one, the data alteration, and this is the problem. So next this the secure our cyber security using the digital signature and IP encryption. Process of the generation of digital signature is called the message designed by the encrypting of data and key pair system, private key and the public key. Private and public key is connected is the interlocking system. Variable length, the byte process system 0 to the 1000 of bytes and data to be sent. The digital signature. It is the usable for the you encrypt your intellectual property. Creating the message design using one way to hashing the algorithm. This is the encrypting design with the private key. Next. This is the cyber security. This cyber security is called, this is the socket layer. This is the perhaps to the and the cyber security. This is the our application layer. This is the secure socket layer, and this in our TCP/IP layer, the second layer among the application layer. It is execute. The application layer is the and network between application network layer and application layer. We work with the HTTP, LDAP, IMAP. This one the together with the this digital computer enable secure communication over the TCP/IP network. This one see that common mistake is to get regard the HTTPS. S is for the secure, okay, and HTTP is the incident. This one is the earlier one is the very authentic. This one is the authentic and secure site. If you get the HTTPS, but it is denied, okay. This one is the HTTPS is the HTTP plus secure socket layers. This is the part of the network layer. So higher level protocol can layer on the top of the secure socket layer transparently. Okay, next. This one is the secure socket layer, the communication channel for cyber security. This is the same procedure and the receiving procedure. This is the application program, and this is the come down to this way and encrypt the you calculating MAC binding, the message authentic. 4 is the then is the send cache callback, then come back into the receiving call. This is the descript, encrypt and descript. That suppose one message you send from one side, then encrypt, and after before receiving the message, this is the decrypt this message. This is the call receiving. This is the receiving procedure. SSL connection is the established between the application program and OS operating system specific communication channel. Also, SSL has 2 layers: handshake layer and record layers. Next. This one for web based the e-commerce for online banking architecture. Tier 1 to tier n number of tiers. This is the client and web server, application server, and database server, and DMS database management systems. This one is very important for our the online banking systems. Your data and your authentic data in save our server. Someone have copy and cyber crime using cyber crime vandalism. They also copy using their Trojan virus. They copied it and forecasting it. This is a very precious and this is not precious for your life, and all money transfer from your account to the another account and be within a few minutes, within a few seconds. Okay, next. This is the cryptography basics. The privacy. This next is the cryptography provides the privacy, encryption algorithm, encryption message, and decryption algorithm. The sender to receiver. And key protection, this is the symmetric approach, asymmetric approach, and hybrid approach also here. Next. This one is at the lowest level of the layer on the top of some reliable. The transport of the protocol, TCP/IP protocol, is provide the connection secure using the data encryption with the symmetric cryptography, and message the integrity of the check is the key, the MAC binding message authenticate code. And SSK is the very important for this. Okay, next. Okay, this is the client and server. Suppose client is here, bank customer, and server is the bank server. This is the fragment of message into the blocks, bytes, message in block in MAC binding. Is the discrete data with the SSK, and this is the calculated MAC, and appear this is the message for encrypt data with SSK. This is the failure to authenticate discrete to otherwise to connect the answers result in a close up connection. For a banking system, without a message OTP never be shared with other. If you share your OTP to other transaction OTP, it is a very fatal in your banking life and banking transaction life. It's very bad. Next. Okay, next. This is the internet bank architecture. This one earlier one. This is the bank back office system and internet front office system. web server, security subsystems, the internet, SSL connections, the branch office terminals. Okay, next. This one is the in the internet era, the banking software systems are in the entire n number of tiers. This is the internet, using the internet data management system, and we are here user. Okay, next. Some fact: more than 25 million internet bank consumer in Europe. Now in Germany, 100% of online population use the online banking service. Average for India is 10 to 50% by the end of 2019. But see the structural change in the new economy in USA, the more than and the $15 billion invest in this the internet banking system in 2019 panel. Before 2020, it is this data for 15 billion Markin dollar invest for our online development system. But yet in India, this year is the only 10 to 15% is use this internet banking, whereas the US and Germany also 100% people are use this online system, online banking process. Next, this one India structure. The city area, this is the technology adoption by bank, the technology acceptance by user. City, ABN, Deutsche, ICICI, Axis, HDFC, all are private banking. Here this undertaking government sector banking, the SBI, the largest bank of our government bank. This is the Bank of Baroda. This is the Bank of Maharashtra, PNB. Now they are all merged in a common 3 or 4 banks. This is the customer base. Here, only this is the cycle for India structure, online banking system. The branches, ATM, consumer through points. This is the sales channel. This is the consumers, the call centers. Here, only the non-user in thousand. I will show here in this graph for 1,000 people use the banking, the service, simplicity, and security. This on the security. The service is more than transactor. The manual service. This is the transactor is the manual service. This is the simplicity, and this is the service in the online service. So this is the lowest part is the online service, but the lack of interest of online service is a very important for now growth for implement online systems in COVID-19 situation. And this is very important for all growth online system banking process now also increase rapidly. This one next. This one advantages of the e-banking. Please see this data. Suppose one customer goes to the bank, there is the bank cost per transaction. See that this one if you go ATM, then you go online, and that is and by counter, this cost is $1.07 per transaction. But whereas if you use the internet banking, it's come on the $0.01. Suppose now dollar is 75 rupees per. So $1.07 is means the 85 rupees per transaction. Whereas 0.01 means 75 $75. This is the 0.75 rupees. That is the 75 paisa per internet transaction. How much different? More than 100 times different from the bank transaction in physically and bank transaction in the internet using. This is the affecting of cost, bank cost per transaction. So possibility to lower your transaction cost, possibility to process more financial transaction. The very secure, if you use very secure and intellectual property in our e-commerce, then you get the ultimate effect and ultimate advantage to online banking and ensure the secure internet banking. And then advantage of the internet banking is this is the more than 100 times reduce of cost. It's the financial cost transaction. Next. Next. Hello. Hello. Next.
Next slide, sir.
Okay. The profitability of innovation. The profit from earlier one. Okay. Earlier, just back. This no, earlier,
Sir,
earlier.
this one, sir?
Back.
One. Yes, sir.
This the value of an innovation, the investor's ability to appropriate value from an innovation. This is the legal protection, the complementary resources, easy of imitations of technology, lead time for profitability of innovation. Okay, next. This was the regime of features, university publishing and the industry patenting. This was the very interesting. Suppose a creation or one intellectual property for a university and industry far differ. The first two, this was the priority. Number one priority is the first to publish and first to discover right. But here in industry, first to file and first to invent, first to patent, first to innovation or your property. The second one is the criteria is the newness of the field, non-obviousness. But here newness to the world, non-obviousness, industrial applicability. This one, say third one, this examination system, publishers and journal editors is sufficient for university there. But industry patenting is the patent offices and patent examiners. This is the informal. The operation system is the informal and formal. How different is the legal basis? The copyright matters conferred is the copied, and this is the in law. The otherwise weak professional norms is the codified in patent law. But in the last one, in the licensing provision, the international coordination, the strong in the some discipline to unifying the framework of the trace. This one, the international territory and the cooperation also. The user is subject to patent holders and discretion. This is the and finally remuneration is the creation, reputation, community price, and also job offers and research grants. But here royalty of lump sum payments or better product of the license sales the contract is. And here this is the industry patenting is the far different from the university publishing. This on our intellectual property. If you the invent something, if you so you immediate contact to the industry patenting, immediate filing your patent office, filing immediate national and international patent office and journal patent office for drafting your patent and write your patent and filing your patent. So next. In summary, in our in higher education system, online in education system in higher education, now in pandemic situation, what happened? What is the future? This is the digital plagiarism. This is the university should have the policies to the address to the ethical and is the management of information technology and the campus by students, teachers, researchers, and staff. And university or higher education body should ensure to the secure internet, secure intellectual property, and secure managing processment, secure governance for the all stakeholders. The relevant ethical issues, including the digital plagiarism and the academic dishonesty, online assessment, the copyright, and the software theft also. Their copyright and software theft also the part of the force of the and this is the enforcement of the intellectual property. Is the violate of the intellectual property copyright discord. This on the proper use of the university e-resources, hacking, information, and online privacy, online system anonymity, and the online harassment and hate speech, etc. Academic freedom, is required for the with the free for all, and use secure network, and use standing and use the established internet procedure, internet systems. Next, this is the example. Piracy of the CD-ROM, more than 25 lakh copies per day of the small industry, in most small and medium entrepreneurs division has copied CD-ROM, disruptive to SME, the support institution, IP, intellectual property offices, and other worldwide. Is the can you imagine? Small and medium entrepreneurs has more than 25 lakh copies. So that is the creator has not a chance for sale their intellectual property by they are destroy, they are reduce their cost day by day. Okay, next. Okay, this is the piracy data. It is the earlier data in the India has that. This is the data. Is the that see that the 1996 to 2006 data is the incomparable the Indonesia, Japan, to India is the higher. India, New Zealand, they are here is the India is the higher piracy rate. They show here in the table format in piracy rate. Okay, next.
Sadhna madam, please change the next slide.
These are the final words. Some internet myth and fact. The internet requires little upfront investment. The internet will drive the transaction from other channels. The internet is the borderless. This one the you get what you pay for. Channel behavior, the additive and channel adaptive adoption has always been the additive. This is the brand making as the consumer behavior is so local. This is the very important for myth and fact in our IP and intellectual property in internet and e-governance system. Okay, next. Thank you all for patience and hearing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the knowledgeable session. May I request sir to stop the screen sharing?
Okay, you may, if any question arises, then it required. Otherwise, you may stop.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
So, any questions from the audience? Sir, thank you. First, I would like to thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Any questions from audience?
Any questions from the audience? So I think there are no questions from the audience.
Okay.
So we conclude the session then. I request Rupa madam to take over the session.
Okay, so we have come to the end of the session, and thank you, sir, for your so informative and valuable speech on protection of IPR. Now, we would like to request our admin executive madam, Ms. Punita Gaba madam, to please give the vote of thanks. Punita ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So firstly, on behalf of Narula Institute of Technology and the MHRD IIC section of NiT, I express my sincere gratitude to our honorable chief guest Dr. Samir Chandra Das, for sparing his valuable time with us this evening. The whole session was indeed very enlightening and informative and very motivating also. Next, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal Ma'am, Professor Dr. M.R. Kanjilal, and Register Ma'am, Ms. Nidhi Singh, for always supporting and guiding us in each and every step, and also inspiring the staff members for doing innovative things. Next, I would like to thank our Dean Sir and all the HOD for always supporting us and motivating us. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Sandhya Patanayak, the convener of MHRD IIC section of NiT. Well, she's a very humble and energetic convener, always motivating students as well as a very helpful team member.
So nice of you, ma'am. So nice of you.
When it comes to coordinating with other team members.
I'm overwhelmed.
And next, I would also like to thank our ISC team members. Without their support and coordination, this event would not have been possible. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our management, MD Sir Sardar Taranjit Singh and Director Simarpreet Singh for always being the backbone of our institution and motivating and helping us in each and every possible way. Also, thank you all the participants for attending this session today. For this, all will get an e-certificate very soon. Lastly, special thanks to Mr. Pallab Datta, Assistant Professor, Electrical Department, for arranging the session and to stream on the YouTube, even though he is not part of the ISC section NIT. So once again, thank you all. Thank you very much. Over to Rupa, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for your vote of thanks. Now we are present, sir. We are this e-memento on behalf of Narula Institute of Technology. Kindly accept this, sir.
Thanks to all organizer and GB members and principals, ma'am, and register, ma'am. Thank you. I think everybody take care, stay home, and keep maintain distance if you want to like in way or road. Please, thank to all. Have a nice meet to all. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your speech.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you once again for attending this very informative seminar here and from again on some other day, on some other occasion. So thank you, sir, once again on behalf of us. And thank you all the participants also for attending this seminar. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe. So I now request the host.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, sir, for giving such a nice presentation, and I thank everyone for attending this session. We will be sending the e-certificates of participation within the next 10 days to your email IDs that you have given us.